And I asked Ryan 3 weeks ago. I really would love to have Trent Dilfer on because he knows everything, and because Trent is, so booked up.
Yeah,
we got him 3 weeks later, but it's the day of the draft, so it's great. Trent, Michael, and Don here. How you doing?
I got really sick. I wasn't avoiding you. I got as sick as I've ever been in my life.
Really?
I think it was studying all these draft guys made me sick.
Are you feeling better now?
I am. I pulled out of it.
Right,
I don't know even close to everything. My family tells me every day I know nothing.
Well,
so.
we think you do, so that's all that matters.
Somewhere in between.
All right, then we'll take it. All right, so should I be concerned when I look at Jameis Winston? And forget about the off-the-field stuff. The first half of games, the guy throws an awful lot of picks. He's throwing picks against ACC secondaries. What's he going to do in the NFL?
Yeah, he's got a Superman complex. He definitely has that. And that, what I mean by that is he tries to do too much. He thinks he puts on the red cape when he goes out to pregame, and nothing's impossible. I would rather have a guy that's overconfident and thinks he can do everything than a guy that questions his ability. I think that with good, hard coaching, with teammates holding him a little more accountable for those turnovers, I really believe the interceptions will go down. I'll give you two examples. So everybody's used the Matt Ryan example. He threw a lot of interceptions in college and hasn't thrown a lot in the NFL, but it works the other way too. I broke the NCAA record for most pass attempts without an interception. My last year in college, my junior year, I think I had 319 straight passes without an interception. Then I went to the NFL and I threw 1 million interceptions. So what you do in college in terms of a turnover standpoint doesn't always translate to the NFL game. You have to look at the why behind each interception. Most of them, he's just trying too hard to make a play, or he's anticipating a throw. He's throwing it early, and him and his receiver are not on the same page. So I'm not as concerned with the interceptions as everybody else. I'm more concerned that I shouldn't say concerned. He just needs to own up to the fact once he gets in the NFL that he can't do everything by himself.
Now, would you be scared off by the off-the-field stuff?
I've known Jameis since he was 17. I coached. He was my first year of Elite 11. He was my MVP. I stayed in touch with him through college. So I don't know if I'm the right person to talk about that. I've kind of laid out of that conversation. He has never, in my relationship with him, given me any reason to pause on his character. The things that have come out, I've talked to him about. I've gotten good answers from him. I've never seen a moral corrupt side of him. But again, full transparency, I'm probably a little biased because I've known him for so long.
But on the other end of it, there's the general managers. How could they really even be able to tell, right? And they can interview as many people as they can. You're still taking that chance. So is it a fundamental, I don't draft guys with records? I mean, does it come down to that, of just having a style or philosophy more than going with your gut on something like this?
I don't think anybody doesn't draft a guy. The NFL is full of guys that have had checkered past, or let's just call them knucklehead mistakes for the most part. A lot of guys just make knucklehead, youthful mistakes. Some guys, when it comes like the drug issues near the combine or near the draft, I think you're talking about probably habitual issues. Mm-hmm. I heard one general manager I spent a lot of time with who I really trust say it the best. You have to treat every situation different. You have to do your due diligence on every situation and find out the reasons why and all the layers to the decision-making that went into the bad decision. And teams that are willing to take that time and hire the right people to research it and spend enough time with that player, they either turn the kid upside down or they have a comfort level with whatever is going on, perceived to be an off-field issue.
Are you concerned at all when we turn to Marcus Mariota that he has worked in a spread offense in college and took only 5 snaps under center? We had Jaworski on. He said it doesn't concern him at all. How about you?
Oh, I have massive concerns if he plays early. And I just got done with NFL Live, and I'll just repeat what I said on NFL Live. I think his talent, his character, his mental acumen, he's a smart kid, his work ethic, all justify him being a high pick. And this is a massive if you're drafting him to sit him. I think you will waste all those traits, all those qualities if he plays early. He is not close to being ready to play on Sundays.
But he could play with the Eagles early, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is, I'll say this, yes. And you'd have massive success on first and second down. I would be the first to stand up and say, all you have to do is watch third down and red zone. Does he have success on third down and red zone?
Why?
Because that's when scheme supremacy goes out the window.
Okay.
With the tempo, with the formations, with the spread, with the zone read aspect, all great weapons on early downs, on balanced downs to get defined looks. On third down in the tight red zone is when scheme supremacy is thrown out, and you actually have to make dynamic decisions. And that's really what it comes down to is two things Marcus hasn't developed as a college player. Dynamic decision-making, pre- and post-snap. So the decision-making goes on before the ball is snapped with protections, with coverages, with blitzes, with hots, with realignments isn't there. And then post-snap with coverages evolving, with blitzes coming, with side adjustments, with getting through progressions. He hasn't made those dynamic decisions as a quarterback in Oregon. He's really what he's done is he's played catch, not quarterback. Mm. And then his competitive throw catalog, something nobody's talking about, and I can't believe it. And it scares the death out of me because anybody can develop a throw catalog out in shorts. We do it with the youth guys all the time. We can teach them 15 different throws in 2 hours. And if they're talented enough to do it, they can do it. But competitive throw catalog, or what are the throws you've actually executed in competitive environments? And Marcus is throwing the ball in the flat. He's throwing the ball in the seams. And he's throwing some short crossers at times. And that's about it. You know, there's no deep crossers, there's no double-layer throws, there's no tempo throws, there's no deep out cuts on the boundary, there's no deep corner routes, there's not the NFL throw catalog that shows up in his competitive snaps. Now, he can learn them. He can learn all this stuff. It's just going to take time. It's going to take developmental time. So that's why I think Marcus Mariota is a kid that you draft to sit, knowing that if you develop him properly, you may get a 6 to 8 time Pro Bowler out of it. If you draft him to play him, my guess, my money would be on him never reaching his potential and probably not being a highly productive player in the NFL.